Hi, everybody. From severe storms to Arctic air, we've got a lot to track in the coming days, including the potential that we get in on some really, really cold air coming up in the future here that's going to lead to us seeing some interesting weather. Let me show you what's going on right now. We do have an upgraded risk for severe weather here as we go into the time frame of Friday. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be dealing with what looks to be another outbreak of severe weather here, and that could lead to some of us seeing strong winds and even an isolated tornado or two. We need to watch this, folks, and those of you that are hoping for a little bit of wintry weather, this is not our time. However, the old saying goes, when you hear thunder in the wintertime, 7 days later you'll get snow. It's not necessarily scientifically proven or accurate, but what it tells you is that, and at the heart of it, I think there's some truth to it, that when there's that much atmospheric energy to give you thunder in January, typically you're going to see an atmosphere that's conducive to snow. And I think that is the truth, because next week we get mighty cold and we'll have the potential for these systems to continue to come our way, however, with cold air nearby. So let's talk about the severe weather risk, folks. This just upgraded here, and honestly, it's a bit concerning. We're in the medium risk for severe weather across the upstate of South Carolina, with the high risk now placed in Abbeville, Greenwood County, south through Columbia. Same areas that just had tornadoes. In fact, let me show you this map. This is a list of just where the Columbia office of the National Weather Service will be investigating tornadic activity, and especially that Bamberg tornado down here southeast of Orangeburg near Hampton. That was a big one. You also had one near Columbia, Lexington, and then you had another one up here toward the north. All of these will be investigated today, and that's just from the storm office out of Columbia. I do believe that Wilmington will investigate tornadoes in and around Wilmington and Myrtle Beach and Charleston as well, and GSP likely going to, or Raleigh going to, an area outside of Charlotte that unfortunately looks like it was a tornado that took the life of someone with critical injuries in excess of that. I do want to show you the risk when you look specifically at the wind and the tornado. It's a combined risk on day 3. You see that red high risk, and you also see the hatched area. When you see that black kind of netting kind of placed over a risk like that, it tells you that that area has not only a risk for severe weather, but significant severe weather. That would be winds in excess of 70 miles per hour being possible, and tornadoes, if you get a tornado, in excess of EF2 or greater. So it tells you that not only do you have a chance for tornadoes, but strong tornadoes in these areas. So I want you to share this with your family and friends. Tag them in the comments here. I've got it going right here. If you will also do me a favor, let me know where you're watching from. That helps me kind of cater this forecast to where you're watching from, because I know many of you are storm weary after what happened yesterday. Well, here we go again. Just 2 days time frame. We're going to get another one on Friday. This time it looks like Friday afternoon into Friday evening. Let's time it out for you, because we do have some snow showers across western North Carolina. It is a cold, windy day outside. It's going to continue to be cold. Here comes some of that snow up toward the Appalachians. Then we take a break into the rest of Wednesday into Thursday as well, before our storm system begins to gather straight to the south. I've paused it here at 18Z. This will be midday Friday. You've got an environment here that is really getting juiced up and amped up. I want to show you, this is as far as the high resolution model goes, but I want to show you where we stand as far as severe weather ingredients are concerned at this point. As far as I can map out this map here, we've got some storm ingredients coming in from the south, and we need to watch this because the atmosphere is really, really ramped up. So by the evening, some of this ingredient down here toward Mississippi and Alabama could try to make a run for our area. Let me show you how this pans out, because the European model here paints some of that instability being to our south at about midday, and then by the evening, I'm talking 6, 7, 8 o'clock, some of that energy is over our area, and we'd have to watch that in South Carolina and some of the same areas that just had tornado concerns yesterday, just cleaning up, and then you'll get another risk then. Not only that, but this is going to bring us additional rainfall, especially late Friday into Friday evening. We're going to get another dose of about 1 inch to 1.5 inches across the upstate of South Carolina. Areas that already had about 5 inches. Up toward the northeast, another 2 to 3 inches. We just can't catch a break. It's been rainy. It's been kind of just damp and cold. Cold enough that it's uncomfortable out, but warm enough that it's not snow for most of the East Coast. That could change, as I think our luck is going to run out there, and I think it's going to run out next week for parts of the East Coast. as you look and advance this map out, we get another rain, just puts in about a half an inch or so of rain on Monday night into Tuesday, Martin Luther King Day into Tuesday, and then we're cold, folks. That's the big story next week. Is I want to show you this. Now, the oranges would be above average temperatures. The purples and blues are below average. Look at this piece of the polar vortex that breaks off and just races into the United States. It is nasty, folks. This is going to be so cold into the upper Midwest, Kansas, Oklahoma. We're talking below zero. Some of that could stretch into Texas. Look at that. I mean, this is significantly below average temperatures, and that's coming into the United States early next week. And then it kind of migrates. It's kind of cut off, and that air mass is kind of bubbling around. It starts to move to the east as we get into Tuesday, Wednesday's time frame. So we will feel that in the Carolinas, Georgia, up through Pennsylvania, New York, Jersey. It's going to get cold toward the end of next week. And that's not it. It looks like another piece of that Arctic air moves in toward the 20th. So we're going to continue to be cold and likely stay cold through January. Looks like first part of February it may get a little bit of a warm up. How cold, you might ask? Well, check out these numbers for the European just for consideration. As we go into Saturday, Sunday, it's chilly. But here comes the real deal, folks. Look toward your top part of the screen. Those are real temperatures, not wind chills. We're talking minus 15, minus 20 upper Midwest. That's just terrible. Going into Tuesday, Wednesday, that starts to spread into Tennessee, where we got below zero temperatures in Memphis, west of Nashville. It's 3 in Nashville. It's 9 in Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. By Tuesday morning, it's 12 in Asheville, 19 in Greenville. It's 16 in Metro Atlanta. Panama City Beach, Destin, you're 19 or 20 degrees. And then going into Wednesday morning, it's really, really cold. We're talking about those single digits spreading into Pennsylvania, the Appalachian Mountains, Snowshoe, just very, very cold. As low as 25 in Savannah, 23 in Panama City, Atlanta Metro, 20. It's just going to stay cold. It looks like another piece of that cold air comes in, not as potent, but another piece comes in around the 20th. So what does that mean snow-wise? Well, let's look at that because things get interesting. Not with this one on Friday. That one's unfortunately a severe weather outlook. And the reason why is you got this 982 low right here, cranking out some stout winds. And if I were to look at the upper level winds, let's just do that for a second because, folks, that's dangerous. I mean, we're talking about just the winds just screaming right above our heads. Yeah, look at that jet right there. I mean, that right there, just above our heads, are winds that are 80, 90, 100 miles per hour, and that creates that twisting and turning in the atmosphere. So this will be Friday afternoon, Friday evening, that jet translating right across the upstate into the Midlands, into Metro Atlanta, South Georgia, same areas that would have the potential for tornadoes yet again. As far as snow is concerned, not this one on Friday, but as we go toward Martin Luther King Day, looks like snow spreads into Arkansas, snow spreads into Tennessee, Kentucky, could get a quick couple of inches there in Nashville, as cold as it's going to be, and it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. So for your friends in Nashville and surrounding areas, Middle Tennessee, it will likely be a couple of days before that snow would melt. And I've got some weird lights coming in over my window right here. There we go. It's going to be below zero even, so it's going to have a hard time for that to melt in some of those areas, so we need to watch that closely. All right, guys, let me know where you're watching from. I see Ellenboro's in the house. Greenville's in the house. Thank you guys for watching. Elberton, thank you for watching. All right, so back to next week. So looks like the mountains could get a quick hit of 1 to 2 inches in Hendersonville northbound. First time you'd actually get some decent snow in Hendersonville, but doesn't look like to be a big one with this one. But up toward the northeast, could be the first time New York City gets in on some good snow. It'll be on the end of it, so it doesn't look to be a lot. But by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, Jersey up through New York into New York State, upstate, it really could be quite a bit of snow, 4, 5, 6 inches. And again, with a dry snow season, you've had a lot of rain but not a lot of snow. This would be kind of the first of many. Okay, so here we go. Another system comes in on the 19th and 20th, just kind of reinforcing that cold air across us. So again, it gets very cold, and our teleconnections show us anytime this is below zero, it usually leads to blocking and then the pieces of the polar vortex dropping in. So -2, we're significantly below on this North Atlantic oscillation all the way through the 20th to 21st. And then it starts to turn positive again, which doesn't mean saying it turns warm immediately, but generally would head that direction. So late month, the 26th, 27th, 28th, we would probably begin to warm things back up to at least normal or slightly above normal would be what I would expect. So not as cold. Doesn't mean you won't have a chance for any kind of wintry weather, but just your chances would be lower. And that's reflected here with the latest outlook from the National Weather Service showing below average temperatures across much of the United States all the way through January 23rd. Beyond that, we're probably near normal would be the case. So what can I help you guys answer right now as I try to figure out these weird lights coming in from my window? Just hit me right there. Need to keep safe this week, folks, especially when it comes to the severe weather concerns. I don't like what I'm seeing on the outlooks here for Friday afternoon, Friday evening, and South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia could have another outbreak of severe weather, strong winds, and possibly even some isolated tornadoes. So I see Sharon's watching from Asheville. I live in part of Greenville County near Simpsonville, but I work in Pelham. Thank you, Chris. You're welcome, Edna. Jessica's watching right now. What time for Walhalla on Friday? Looks like you'll get rain by about midday, 1, 2 o'clock, and then the possibility of storms rolls in late afternoon and evening. Blake's watching. We got Mill Spring in the house. Friday's going to be a rough day. Patricia, it looks to be. It's at least going to be raining, but the ingredients are there for the potential of some spicy weather in regards to severe weather, even the risk of an isolated tornado. Got Irmo in the house. We got Traveler's Rest watching. What can Anderson expect? Elberton's watching. How much rain for Friday? This one's looking at about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's a lot for one day. And the creeks and streams are high, so there will be some flooding, just doesn't look to be the degree that we had yesterday. Eddie's watching right now. Downtown Greenville, yes, unfortunately, downtown Greenville would be in that risk. Right now, it's a medium risk. We'll have to watch it. What's the highest risk for tornadoes? I'll show you that right now. The highest risk for tornadoes and strong winds in this red area, so it'd be from basically Abbeville, Elberton, Greenwood, through Augusta, Columbia, back through Orangeburg yet again. And that hatched netting area right there just indicates that it doesn't tell you how high or low your risk is. It just tells you high or low intensity. So we know there's a high risk for severe weather in the red, but we also know that with that black hatched area that there's a high risk that it's significant severe weather. So not just a tornado, but an EF2 or stronger tornado, and not just wind, but winds that could get in excess of 70 miles per hour. So that's just a way to read that map for you. And it does look like we need to watch Friday afternoon. There's a lot that could change that. If the cold front comes in slower and this thing arrives after dark, whenever it's a little bit cooler, that would help. Do we get a lot of early rain and it kind of dampen things? Or do we get a lot of storm action in Florida that kind of robs the transport of moisture to the north to where the Carolinas do not get in on the severe risk? It stays toward Georgia and Alabama. That is always a possibility, but being that we're day 3 out, we need to watch this because this could turn really severe in a hurry. So what you can count on, we're going to have much more. Perella will have the latest on WYFF News 4 at noon, and I'll be on at 4, 5, 6, and 11 o'clock tonight. WYFF News 4 watching it closely, but simply put, Friday is looking like a severe day. We'll have the possibility of a lot more rain, and in the afternoon and evening, the potential for an isolated tornado. And the fact that we're in the red area here in the southern part of the upstate with that black hatched area on top of it means that we could have not only severe weather, but strong severe weather. Again, those gusts could get up above 70 miles per hour, or those tornadoes that do form could be in excess of an EF2 or greater. I will keep you posted, folks. I hope you have a good day.